Should the government control what video games your kids can play? It's what we're talking about tonight. This is Call of Duty Black Ops. It's violent, it just went on sale, and it could become one of the highest-selling video games ever. It comes at the same time the Supreme Court is deciding on California's ban on the sale of violent video games to kids under 18, an issue that's sparking intense debate. A new Rasmussen Reports poll found 54% of Americans think that violence in games leads to violence in real life. 32% thought it didn't. 65% thought states should be able to ban sales to minors. 25% said no. But when asked who is responsible to protect kids, only 5% said the government. 21% said game makers. 71% said parents, a group with a lot to say.
They don't realize that it's not real life, and a lot of the younger kids don't realize the difference.
If you teach a kid how to shoot a gun, I mean, that's how he's going to learn.
They're thinking that they're playing it, so it's okay to go ahead and do that.
The video game industry said, look, parents don't have to buy this stuff for their children. There are all sorts of blocking mechanisms that parents can utilize on video games. And so parents don't really need the help of the state to keep this sort of material out of the hands of children.
Now, that last person you heard from is Seton Hall law professor Thomas Healy, who was at the Supreme Court for oral arguments this week, and he thinks the Supreme Court will overturn the ban. Joining me right now to talk about this story is Lance Ulanoff, editor-in-chief for PCMag.com. Lance, it's a hot topic, no question about it, and the big question right now is who's responsible for policing what games our kids play? What do you think?
It's the parents. It sounds like everybody agrees, Arnie, that the parents have the main role. I just find it interesting that a parent could say that the children don't understand the difference between a game and real life. I think the whole point of these video games is that they can do things they could never possibly do in real life. You're not handing them a real gun, you're handing them a game to play. But I do get how confused and concerned parents are, because these games are so realistic, and they can do, really, the kids can do virtually anything.
They really are. When you watch them, they're amazing. And now supporters of the California ban say that the guns and violence are attractive to kids. It's a natural draw. What do you think? Is that the case?
Well, it's a natural draw in that if you give your kids Legos, you know what they'll build? Guns.
Say that the guns and violence are attractive to kids. It's a natural draw. What do you think? Is that the case?
Well, it's a natural draw in that if you give your kids Legos, you know what they'll build? Guns. I mean, that's what they do. So the idea of holding a virtual gun and being able to shoot something and feeling the little controller move, that is exciting and attractive to them. But I can't say that I've seen children then go outside and try and shoot someone or act out these violent acts. In fact, they couldn't possibly act out the things that are really happening in these games because they're so overblown.
The games do have warnings, right? They're similar to what we have for the movies. Now, Call of Duty Black Ops is rated M for mature. But now you say that this system can be a little tricky to understand. Explain what the problem is.
Well, here's the thing. M is rated, so many games are rated M. You won't know what the M stands for until you flip over the box, and then there's all this detail. It can be for sexual innuendo. It can be for violence. It can be for gore. It can be for language. It can be for intense violence and language and gore. All of those things together. The Entertainment Software Ratings Board actually created this system, which is a valuable system to an extent, to a certain point, but I wish that detail was on the front of the game.
You need more definition, okay? Lance, we also know that alcohol, cigarettes, illegal for those under 18. But come on, let's face it. Minors find their way to get their hands on them, right? If California's video game ban holds up, would the same situation apply?
Oh, absolutely. Look, it's happening now. You cannot buy one of these games for, say a teen, a 15-year-old can't walk into GameStop and buy this game on their own. They have to have their parents with them. If the parent says, no, I'm not going to get it for you, you know what they do? They go play it at their friend's house. They will find a way to get to these games.
They will. We'll leave it right there for now. Thank you very much for joining us today. PCMag.com editor-in-chief Lance Ulanoff.
Get myfoxny.com on your iPhone free at the App Store and stay connected.